Hey everyone, I'm Rod Todd, a professional YouTuber who makes professional videos, and this channel has officially reached 50 subscribers. I know that's not really a lot by today's standards, but I never expected this channel to really get anywhere above 3 subscribers, so thanks to everyone who's been subscribing and watching these videos. I figured I'd celebrate by reviewing something you probably have all been wanting to see for a while. Yeah. So let's just get on with that. Here's the 50 subscribers, and here's the 50 more. So here it is, the Mega Construx Masters of the Universe Battle Ram. This was one of the more recent ones. Basically, the way I've normally structured these reviews is I've reviewed the individual figures and then the small sets and then the large sets, but they're kind of structuring it differently this time, where this is really the only set that's coming out. Then there's also a trio of figures that come in collectible Skeletor heads, and then Skeletor with a flocked fuzzy version of Panther. I don't have the fuzzy Panther or the Skeletor head figures yet, so let's just review this. Yeah, the Battle Ram. I've been putting this one off for a while, and I figured I might as well save it for the 50 subscriber special. Yeah, I guess let's just start with the figures. So let's get this out of the way and move on to the figures. So, figure number 1, Mechaneck. Mechaneck, if you don't know who this guy is, he's basically this dude with a mechanical extending neck. I think it's a really stupid concept, but at the same time I love it. So, both figures included in this set are actually brand new to the set, or really, well, they're not original characters to the set, but they haven't gotten any prior figures, so I don't have to compare them to 6 different Skeletors. So, Mechaneck, yeah, as you can see, he's very blue. Got the red armor, which is a redeco of the armor that came with Stinkor. And then in terms of accessories, he has this little yellow club thing, some sculpting on it. Can't really see it too well, but it's there. And then he does have this special feature. He does have the extending neck. And if you're wondering how they pulled that off, these things. So basically, the figure's head is on a ball joint, so you can just pop it off. And then these two little pieces here are the neck. You just put them together. They're also on the same ball joint. Just pop this end on the neck joint and then pop the head on here. And bam, he has a giraffe neck. And see, what's great is that if you want to display it with just one piece here, you can do that. In fact, that's how I display mine, with just the one piece here. Or you could display it with none of the little pieces there and just have it where his neck isn't extended at all. So yeah, there's Mechaneck, complete with the multi-jointed giraffe neck. It's perfect. Okay, next figure. Triclops. So Triclops, if you don't know, this guy's gimmick is that he has this green ring around his head with 3 different eyes, and you rotate it to have different eyes. So they were able to replicate that pretty well. Basically, it has the green ring, so it got his blue eye here, and then has the orange eye, and then the red eye. In terms of accessories, he has this green sword, which is a redeco of Fisto's sword. And this figure also heralds the return of the rubber armor. Yeah, the earlier figures in this line, like He-Man, Skeletor, Faker, and the like, they had rubber armor. And a lot of the other figures that have been released recently, like Stinkor, Fisto, Prince Adam, the Battle Armor He-Man, and Skeletor, they've just had hard plastic armor. But what's so great about the rubber armor is that it can have a space in the back to store the sword. So it has this little loop in the back. And it just fits in there, and you can have the sword stored on the back if you want to do that, which is cool. I like that. Also, I should mention this armor connects kind of weird. So, you pop his head off, and it's normally what it would be is it's connected to the part where you have to remove the arms and the head, and then it just slides over the torso and it stays on. With this, it's held on by the waist. You have to put it on the little pin in the center of his waist piece and then pop it on that way. So basically, if you take his head off, this can happen. Not that I mind, I don't really take his head off very often, but just saying, it's kind of weird. And also, in a feature lifted straight out of the Classics version of the figure, or the character, the head here does actually have regular eyes. You're supposed to be able to pop the headband off, and you can see it there. Not very well, but let me see if I can get it out further. There, now you should be able to see it. So, it has these little black empty eye sockets, which is basically a feature lifted directly from the Classics version of the figure. That's why I like the Mega Construx guys. They basically have the same level of sculpting and articulation as the Masters of the Universe Classics line, just smaller and compatible with Lego pieces. So anyway, there's your Mechanic and Triclops figures. And also, I should mention there's something else I noticed about these guys. On a lot of the other Mega Construx figures, I've noticed that the handles for the weapons are almost too big for the hands, to the point where on a lot of the other figures, if you put the weapon in his hand and take it out frequently, it leaves stress marks on the inside of the hand, which means it might break if you're not careful. But these figures I actually have had for a little while, and I don't notice any stress marks on the hand. So it looks like Mattel noticed that and amended it, which is great. Bravo, Mattel. Bravo. So anyway, that's enough about the figures. Let's move on to the actual set. So, the battle ramp. I'm not really so much excited about the battle ramp so much as I am excited that with this set, it means the entire 1982 first wave of Masters of the Universe toys is now complete in Mega Construx form. So, that's He-Man, Teela, Man-at-Arms, Stratos, Skeletor, Beastman, Merman, Zodak, Battle Cat, the Battle Ram, the Wind Raider, and Castle Grayskull. So, that's cool. And as with a lot of these other sets, this thing has every single feature that the original toy has, and a little more. So, of course, as you can see, it has these rolling wheels, only in the back. Don't ask me how that works in terms of real-world physics. But they roll pretty well. These are hard plastic wheels. And I also should mention, this thing is tiny. Like, this thing is really small. Here's it next to a figure, and here's next to a Hot Wheels car for scale, I guess. Yes, this thing's actually really small. Or at least smaller than I wanted it to be. It does have a few action features. Probably the main one here is the firing cannon. Just like the original Battle Ram, it has a firing cannon, and basically this functions the same exact way as a little missile launcher is on the Point Dread set that I covered a while ago. And yeah, so there's just this little trigger on the back. You push it, and unlike Point Dread though, or the Talon Fighter, this one's kind of at an upwards angle, so you get a lot more out of it. No, just fell. Okay, got it. And if you miss on your first shot, you get 2 extra shots here in the back, as well as this little platform. What you're supposed to do is, give me a second. You're supposed to take a figure, and you're just supposed to stand them on this little platform. I can get Mechanex's foot to stay on the thing. Why is it not attaching to the stud? Give me a second. There we go. And there's these handles in the back, can't really see them, but there's a handle here and a handle there. And it's supposed to, like, you're supposed to put a figure back there and have them grab the handles to replicate the, to make it look like they're manning the cannon or whatever. Which, I don't really use that for display or anything, but there you go. It looks like he's manning the cannon, and if you don't want to pretend that they're manning the cannon, you could just say it's a spot to put an extra figure. So I guess I appreciate that. My main problem, though, is that this platform attaches on a little swivel joint, and it just, yeah. It's kind of hard to attach a figure when it's just swinging everywhere. That and it gets in the way of these two missiles, causing them to... And I guess I could just raise these up and it wouldn't be a problem. But yeah, it's nothing too cool. Okay, moving on to this section here. You know, there's these giant exhaust pipes on the other side. Just thought that was worth noting. And of course, as with every other Mega Construx set, there are no stickers. This is all printed detail. So, moving on to the front section here, there is a space for a driver. And this is where I get to a major complaint I have about this set. It is really hard to fit a driver on this thing. Basically, there's this really tiny little space right there, and that's where you're supposed to fit the driver. And okay, so I'm gonna attach the front I'm gonna take out the front portion here. And also there's this piece here, which is held on by one stud. It falls off if you look at it the wrong way. So that's not very fun. So you just attach the hands to the handlebars there, and then kind of got to get them around there like this, and then pray that, of course, this piece always falls off. So you just got to pray that you can actually get it to stay on there. Half of this video's length is going to come from me trying to fit the figure on there. Okay, I'm not going to put the figure on there actually because it's going to take like 30 minutes because it requires a lot of finagling. But just know we should be able to fit a driver right in there. And of course also, this piece here, if you move this up when you're detaching it, it causes it to fly off. So pull straight out, not up and out. Anyway, so speaking of detachments, that kind of brings us to the next thing I got to talk about. As of the original battle ram, this front portion is designed to remove, and it's supposed to be a little flying vehicle. And again, you can put a driver there. And it's a lot easier to fit the driver on here when it's attached like this, just because there's no back portion to get in the way. If you can, actually get the handlebars to not fall off. Really, that's just a bad design. Kind of looks like he's sitting on nothing, but there you go. Has this little sculpted cannon on the front. I guess that's cool. And also, it's at this point we get to some interesting stuff. So, it comes with this extra little piece here. And basically, this is to replicate the original Filmation cartoon. Because in the original cartoon, they didn't have the battle ram, or at least they didn't have this ground portion. However, they did have this little part here, which was called the Sky Sled in the cartoon. And both the good guys and the bad guys had these Sky Sled vehicles. And the good guy Sky Sleds had this little bird or dragon head or whatever on the front, and the bad guys had this little snake head on the front. So that's so you could tell which ones belong to the good guys and which ones belong to the bad guys. And they basically did the same thing the Origins version of the Sky Sled did, to where it just had this extra animal head. You could remove this. Of course, this entire piece had to come off in the process, because this thing just loves having really weak design. And you can attach the snake head, or put the snake head on there. And now this is no longer the good guy version. This is the bad guy version. So you can put Triclops, who came in the set, or Skeletor, or Beastman, or whoever on there, really. and now they can fly and attack the good guys. So, it's cool, I guess, if you're into that sort of stuff. I really think the only practical application of this is if you buy two of them and have one displayed as the good guy version, one displayed as the bad guy version. But it's at least cool they gave us the option to do this, I guess. So anyway, that's my review of the Battle Ram. So yeah, thanks everyone who's subscribed, all 50 something of you. And if you're watching this video, I hope you enjoyed it. And please like, subscribe, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. And yeah, this has been Rod and Todd signing off.